Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. It is once again time for our weekly look back at the motorsport from the past weekend, and as usual, we have already discussed Formula 1, the Japanese Grand Prix. Go watch that video. But today we are looking at British touring cars from Silverstone, European Le Mans from Spa, TCR Europe and Euro Formula from Monza, DTM from the Red Bull Ring, and NASCAR from Texas. So with all that to get through, make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. DTM from the Red Bull Ring Austria. Despite the fact it was raining heavily in Italy, the Red Bull Ring looked slightly drier. Because it's higher up? I don't know, I'm not a meteorologist. This was a very clean race. The big moment was Mirko Bortolotti coming out of the pits ahead of Thomas Preining. If he could stay there, that would be big for the championship. Cold tyres got the best of him and he dropped to 9th. We then got a safety car for the stricken Thierry Vermeulen, who was very rudely taken out by Clemens Schmid. The race really picked up after the safety car. René Rast made his way past a few cars and then had an incredible battle with Riccardo Feller for third. There was action behind with title contender Preining getting stuck in. It was good stuff. Kelvin van der Linde took the win, his first since Hockenheim 2021. This one is worth watching for the last 10 minutes alone. Kelvin van der Linde's smile turned to a frown after he was spun at the start of race 2. Even more shocking was Mirko Bortolotti having to go in for an early stop with a puncture. After 20 minutes passed, the rain started to come down, but not hard enough to affect the race. René Rast dominated this one. It was not as good as the first race. Thomas Preining had a better weekend than Bortolotti and takes back the championship lead with only 2 races left. But there was only 10 points between them, with Riccardo Feller and maybe Sheldon van der Linde still in with a very unlikely chance. Final round is Hockenheimring at the end of October. European Le Mans with the 4 hours of Spa started with a bang and several broken cars sitting by the side of the road. This included championship leaders De Quine team. The leading Algarve Pro car led the race and was about to get a big jump in the championship if they could stay there. I feel like United Autosports are underperforming in this series. One of their cars was involved in the incident at the start and Marino Sato spun the 47 Cool Racing car. It's been a tough year for the Zak Brown owned team. There were quite a few crashes and spins in this race. The biggest has to go to the Euro International car driven by Glenn Van Berlo, who lost it all on his own and did a lot of damage to the barrier. Over a quarter of this race, this 4-hour race, was run under safety car. There was one final crash for the LMP3 Ultimate Team and the race came to an end after a couple of racing laps. So the 25 Algarve car won in the LMP2 class and leads the championship. Cool Racing won in the LMP3 class and they're pretty much champions. The GT class is much closer. Far too much safety car, but if you want to watch a wild and wacky endurance race, this will scratch that itch, I promise. British touring cars from Silverstone. Can anyone catch Ash Sutton? The first race was slightly damp. Interestingly, Mikey Doble was meant to start on pole but did an extra formation lap by mistake or through miscommunication and dropped to the back. This was like Donington at the start of the year, a choice of tyres race. Wets versus slicks. A lot of cars pitted early for wets and the ones who stayed out, including Tom Ingram and Ash Sutton, did later and suffered. Colin Turkington pitted as well, but with damage as his dreadful year slowly comes to a close. Jake Hill won easily and we had a few interesting people in the points. Daryl De Leon took his first BTCC points, along with Michael Crease taking his first for the year, and Sam Osborne had another good run. Dan Rowbottom got spat out of a very busy pack in race 2 but survived. The track was dry and Jake Hill was getting away again. Ash Sutton was making frightening progress through the field, getting in the top 7 by the halfway point. Stephen Jelly got turned around, not for the first time this year. We got a safety car for debris, after which Jake Hill ran into issues and dropped down the field. Aaron Taylor-Smith led the race in a Vauxhall of all things, but couldn't stop Ash Sutton taking his first ever Silverstone win, and from 23rd on the grid. Ingram did manage to get back up to 3rd, but the championship is slipping further and further away. Race 3 started with some chaos. Adam Morgan and Rory Butcher squeezed a Michael Crease and both got fired off to the left. After that, the race was kind of a dud, sums up the BTCC in 2023. Colin Turkington won, Ingram and Sutton were 2nd and 3rd. Sutton is pretty much champion. Roll on 2024 because this has been a poor year. Ash Sutton is better than this, but I don't know where else he could go. TCR World Tour doesn't feel like a step up, and DTM is so completely different now. Maybe V8 Supercars replace Shane van Gisbergen with Ash Sutton, see him take on the Bathurst 1000. Maybe a shock move into single-seaters, but that is very unlikely. Euro Formula has had its ups and downs in terms of quality in 2023, with small field sizes being the major issue, plaguing the series right now, to the point that I can't really tell you why it still exists. Only 7 cars started in Monza, and it was raining, so we started behind the safety car, so limited racing with a very small field. Consider me excited. Actually, we got to see some good slides in the rain. These juniors got to show off some of their car control at a very wet Monza. Noel Leon led for the 3 racing laps, and then the safety car came back out as the rain got heavier. For some reason, they just went round and round behind the safety car until the race was finally red flagged after time had almost expired. So, not worth your time. Race 2 was at least drier, and to be fair, the 7 drivers did their best to put on a show, swapping for the lead almost every lap. Unfortunately, championship leader Noel Leon got turned around in a busy moment at the first chicane, and we got the safety car back out. Strangely chaotic race, and after Joshua Dufek and Keenan Shields made contact, only Charlie Wirtz was going to win, because there was literally no one else. This race has to be seen to be believed. So on to the final race of the weekend, almost guaranteed to be better than race 1, but no way it was going to outdo race 2. Well, they gave it a go. Charlie Wirtz and Keenan Shields went flying into the barrier, meaning we lost 2 cars from race 3, but there was some fierce battling throughout. Joshua Dufek won his first Euro Formula race, but just. Noel Leon leads the championship. For a series of only 7 cars, the racing was great, but imagine what it would be like with twice as many cars. These youngsters did their best to put on a show regardless. TCR Europe was also racing at Monza. A massive 14-car field took off from the grid. Ruben Volz stalled from pole and dropped to the back, gifting the top 5 to all Audis. A big crash involving Giacomo Gamandi brought out a long safety car, but not a lot happened before or after. Championship leader Tom Coronel ran into trouble on the penultimate lap, leaving title rival Kobe Powles to take the win. Ruben Volt got his revenge in race 2, but it was not a very exciting race. Coronel got some points back on Powles and leads the Belgian by 10 points. John Felipe could still win the title, but it is between those 3 with the final round in Barcelona in about a month's time. Finally, NASCAR from Texas, and this was your usual NASCAR action once again. Austin Dillon lost a wheel in the most interesting event of the whole race, as did Todd Gilliland. Lots of loose nuts in NASCAR. Kyle Larson was leading with 20 laps left, but crashed. Bubba Wallace did very well to avoid him. William Byron won yet again, and the next race is in Talladega next weekend. It's a long oval track, where I imagine there'll be several large crashes and an American stock car driver will win the race. I did watch the American Trans Am series as well, which someone recommended. It's really good and free on YouTube. I won't say too much because I'm nowhere near an expert on the series. So that was all the action from the past weekend. My race of the weekend will shockingly go to Euro Formula for race 3, a ding-dong battle throughout, even with only 7 cars. Next weekend there's not a lot on, so probably no roundup. I think it's only NASCAR and Euro Formula, which would not make much of a video. There'll be more content to come instead, so make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Leave your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.